Good morning, everyone. My name is Kugelmann. I'll be presenting my Python course and yeah, my game. I guess it's called Kaiju, which is Chinese for monster. I mean Japanese, sorry, for monster. Yeah. Okay, so my problem statement: to design and program a free mini game using Python that randomly generates creatures that must be eliminated by a player for entertainment purposes. Okay. My project description: a single-player character-controlled shooting game designed to use simple user input yet require large amounts of skill the further the player progresses in the never-ending game. Okay. So my background research, I didn't do much research, but I did have ideas just from previous games I played, as you can see here, like Black Ops 2 zombies and whatnot. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, still. I obviously did a lot of research for the coding side, using like arrays and lists in lists. And also my friend helped me quite a lot because he had already had previous Python experience, so that helped me. A big amount. So for my progress, I started off obviously with the Python course and just to learn the basics of, I mean, any language really. You know, you always have that ground level. And then I started creating simple games like Snakey. That started when I started using lists I won't get into that, but yeah. It was still obviously quite a challenge starting with like even just a simple game. But I mean, thinking back on it now, it comes quite logically to me now. But that's just with the experience. And then I moved on to this game, I guess, after a couple easier ones. So the logic behind this game. The player starts off in the middle of a dungeon. It's called a dungeon. I made all these, like, all the images and sprites is what they call it, in a software called Pixel, sorry. It's like pixel art. So it starts off in the middle of a dungeon and has to defend him or herself from the monster that spawns in random quantities from 4 different entrances. That's the first. The aim of the game is to eliminate the monsters by shooting projectiles at them. The game is structured in rounds, and after each round, a new wave is spawned, which that idea I got from Black Ops 2 Zombies. Yeah, as well as it increases each round, so that's how the difficulty increases. Am I on the code now? Okay, so I also added a little pause function that is next to the WASD keys for just easy access to it, just to make it more flexible for the user to pause whenever. Okay, and then my difficulties and successes. So there you can see my code. Oh wait, no, I'm not onto that yet. Sorry. So for my code, the structure of my code consists of out of a lot of classes with lots of sub methods instead of functions. It's called a method when it's inside the class. And to simplify the code, so on the left hand side you can see there's the class general, and I used inheritance, which then takes in all the variables that was created there. So I don't have to recreate all those variables and save a lot of lines of code. And then on the other side, you can see all of the classes and their methods come into one final method, which is then, so basically only this run method is running the main loop. So the rest is all, it's all passed. You can see that. So my successes and difficulties, Classes and methods took quite a while to understand that, especially with the inheritance that came with that. And also arrays, like lists and lists. Yeah, that was, it took me quite a while to wrap my head around. Okay, improvements. There's always room for improvement and optimizing mine or anyone else's code. It just comes with experience and knowing how well you know the program itself and what features are within that program as well. Instead of going around making like a long code where there could be already like an added in feature into that built-in feature that you could use. In terms of the game, there are a lot of like minor things that are obviously purposely made long just because I didn't understand the new shorter version yet. So I can definitely improve this game quite a lot and probably half the amount of lines that I already use. So yeah, a lot of room for improvement for sure. Okay, so this is just my code for.
Is it recorded?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this took quite a while. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 400, 450, 460. Let's check. 460. Yeah, so as you can see here, I can actually just add this in the video. These are all, this is how it's all structured. This is just where I input like images and all the sprites and that. And just define global variables, which can be used anywhere. And then these are like the classes. So as I said before, the inheritance. So this is just my like inheritance class that I use for pretty much all the classes. So they all share the same X and Y, obviously different values, but the same variable. Yeah, so here at the bottom, this is where I run my final, the final method. So this is where I obviously define it, and then it's run here. This is literally just the while loop here, and this is where it's run. It's right here. So that's pretty much it. And then, yeah, so now I can just show you the game. So this is what it looks like. So you just have a little wizard. That's just what I made. And then you can shoot projectiles at them. I know it's a little gory. I put in some blood, some blood stains, but
you use the mouse to aim.
Yeah, so you can see it actually changes position as the mouse goes around. And then also you can see how it increases the amount every time, and they randomly spawn in random amounts at around the 4 points, just to make it more interesting. And then down here you can have I have a high score, so I actually had to put in a text file gets created called score that saves it for next time. So it'll actually keep your high score, and then you have your rounds at the top here.
Can you run through from one end to the other?
Like, no, you can't go into a new room. I could, I mean, I could eventually add that.
No, I know, but I was wondering, I would like to.
And then this is like the pause button, it's just E, so it pauses for you.
What would have you approved of this, or what you would have wanted to add for next time? Like if you would want to control this game?
Probably different types of monsters. An extra room. I mean, you can. It's endless, really.
For the levels, do the monsters only come out when the new level starts?
No. They also added that they come in every 3. After every 3 you kill, a new one spawns out of like a random place. Just because it was too easy to avoid them all, so now you have like a random one coming out
Okay, that's
at random time. Yeah. And then what else was I going to say? They had random. They generated random speeds as well. So as you can see, when they were all one speed, they'd all come together and cluster into like basically a single monster. So it was a bit of a problem. So now they all have different speeds.
Are they all rotating on the same point of rotation?
No, it's just how it looks when they.
I can see they're not.
Yeah. If he zigzags across the screen, and I think they'll move.
And then when you die, then you just goes like that. Yeah, and then it restarts.
Oh,
You can have a very nice death thing as well.
you are dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every time you can have a different death according to how many things you kill.
That
Is
would
there
be
a limit,
interesting.
No, this is endless game.
So you
Yeah.
can go 999 rounds.
You can go 5,000
I think,
if you can.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
Very well done.
I think
Thank
they
you.
must make a blood
Yes,
spectacle
yeah,
to do with
There are different projectiles. I was explaining to Liz earlier.
No, for your little man,
Yeah.
they're shooting him. You must have the higher the score, the more blood he has when he's dead.
Yes.
Jeez. Okay.
But
Sure.
listen, let's show Richard this quick intro.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
There are more just spawn every round. Actually.
And you must have limited firepower per level.
So if you get a certain amount in a row, you can see the projectile changes, and then if you miss, then it goes back to its original. So there's like levels of. So you just try to get as many as you can in a row, and eventually you get to like a nuke, which makes like a massive. I'll try to get it like so you can see.
Oh, yeah, it's red now, yeah.
Yeah. So now should go blue. So
There's like different
okay, now I missed.
And
Yeah, it doesn't really change the effect. Yeah, my laptop's about to die, so that's pretty much it.